My name's Mirriam Wachira. I'm a Centonomy to be alumni, right? We are here to graduate. So I'm happy to be here and to attend physically. All I can say, I've really learned a lot, and it's been a great journey of 12 weeks to be able to learn and relearn and unlearn, right? Yeah, so I'll try to be very brief. I can talk a lot. So I was asked, why did you join Centonomy? Because everybody will always ask you, so why did you join Centonomy? Of course, for me, I've been on a journey of personal development and growth. So I was always looking out for growth programs in various aspects of my life. We say that you want to grow yourself spiritually, physically, emotionally, morally, all those. So part of my financial journey was to look for materials to be able to grow myself financially, even though I thought, in my thinking, financially, basically, I don't really think I'm that badly off. It's a thought. It's until you evaluate and you do an ABC budget. I used to do just a usual budget. So the usual budget where you do the constant things that you pay every month and things that you pay every 3 months. So when we're talking about irregular expenses, for me, they were there. But I didn't really put them in the category of the ABC that I learned from Centonomy. So I'd heard about Centonomy before COVID. I think Karomutuko used to talk about it quite a bit. I didn't take it seriously. I thought probably it's those people who have serious money issues that need to do a class. But, when you do your self-evaluation and diagnosis, you actually realize you're in the same category. So in 2020, during COVID was a game changer. I would say it was both a blessing in disguise, and also it had its pros and cons. So for me in 2020, during COVID, I became unwell. I was in hospital for quite some time, and then I got a preterm baby at 25 weeks. So it was a life-changing event during COVID. So when people are, talking about staying indoors and everything, I was somewhere fighting for my life, right? And I had also a small baby at 25 weeks in an incubator. So we spent 3 months in MPSHA. So you can do the maths of the calculation of the bill, right? So you're talking of a bill of millions. Thank God I had a good insurance cover. But let me say I thought I had. Let me put it that way. I thought I had a good insurance cover. You remember when you talked about insurance and you're being told inpatient is very critical? I can promise you I had a good inpatient of 10 million. So I thought that will take care of me. Shock on me. It did not. Because when you get these covers, you're told to scrutinize, right? So when you think you have 10 million, you think 10 million will cover you all over, right? Only to be told, it has those caps. There is neonatal, there is maternal, there is all those things. So, but thank God, coincidentally, my employer was due to renew the insurance during the same time. I would say God has a plan for everything. So when you see some things happening to you, God has a plan. So what happened in the process of renewal, it had to be revised to fit in the needs because I was already in hospital with a preterm baby. So duration of hospitalization, nobody could predict how long it would take. So thank God it was revised. But before it was revised, we had to cough a 1 million, 1.2, 1.5 during COVID. So we did it as a family. We didn't do a fundraising. We thank God for that. But of course, that was an unexpected expense. Of course, you don't have some 1 point something lying just somewhere aimlessly. So what happened when the cover was revised, it was able to cover. But that was a game changer for me. You see, somebody maybe would sit and say, oops, relief and everything. But if you want to learn from your life experiences, that was now what changed everything about how I look at finances. So after that, of course, there was revision, sat down, now started revising my expenses, started thinking, what happens if such a thing happens again, right? Will I be able to cushion it, or will I be caught off guard again? So you put things in place, and that's why in the process I decided to enroll for Centonomy. But by the time I was aware of the Centonomy for 2020, late 2021, 2022, I think the class had already gone a bit further. So I enrolled. There was another financial freedom class done by somebody else, which I did, I think, for 8 weeks. Then in the process now, it looped in with the Centonomy that we just did. So it just affirmed, and I learned more, because that one was a bit brief, but Centonomy was a bit broad on most of the aspects that I learned. So that was what changed my thinking about finances, and what also made me work more on my personal development, right? So what modules captured my attention? I think all modules. For me, it was all modules. Every module had its peak, you know. So from the initial module of ABC budget, because I used to do a budget, but I didn't have an ABC. So for me, there are things I thought they're essential, and kumbe, they were important and not essential, okay? And there are things I thought were important and not essential, kumbe, they were everything else. So when you sit down and evaluate your expenses or your budget, you actually realize, oh, so I can actually, you know, live without this. It's not necessary, it's not essential, it's a want, not a need. So it helped me to separate all that. And I was able to evaluate even my various streams of income, including my employment. And now I'm able to look at things differently, because at some point I used to wonder, why am I not able to save? You ask yourself, you have this money, and truly, if you tell somebody else, they're like, why are you not able to save? As in, seriously? So, but when you evaluate and look at it, you actually see now the gaps that you are actually putting in as part of your essentials or part of your needs, and truly they're not even needs. They're either wants or not really very important to you. So they fall under the category of C. So, and one thing I learned about Centonomy and I appreciated is that the best investment I can make is what matches my financial goal. So for me, I used just to save. Like, I have this savings account, I had MMF, I had treasury bonds, those things. I had some group of, let me say, 2 friends whom, of course, we read books, so we pick it from the Robert Kiyosaki books, Cash Flow Quadrant, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know, all those books. So when you read them, you pick 1, 2, 3 things. So I was actually doing, but not in an organized manner, right? So for treasury bonds, of course, I get the interest, but I use it. In fact, that time I'm like, right on time, imeingia tu saa zile, I need to sort out something. But I didn't realize that, oops, whatever I'm doing, this is simple interest, and I need to put it to compound. So I didn't have a goal. I was just buying treasury bonds, bills. When you're told, there's this, uko na pesa kidogo mali, si ukuje tuweke hapa. So you just do without a plan. But now I have attached every of my investment to a financial goal. So like now, I have a 13-year-old daughter. She keeps on saying she wants to go to Harvard. There is no assurance by then there'll be scholarships, right? Because people miss out on scholarships. What can I do to ensure that she meets her dream? So I sat down, evaluated, actually with the first module, the second module, sorry, time value for, the second module. In fact, that one just made me freeze. After that class, I froze. I was like, oh my goodness. What am I doing? So let me surprise you what I did. So I had education policies. So I'd taken education, as I told you, reading books, having some few friends, so we always share notes. So I'd taken policies for the sake of, I think for me it was just putting some money somewhere. I wouldn't say there was no goal, it was just an education policy. And the main reason I put it is just in case I'm not there, these kids will continue going to school and getting educated. Now, when I sat down, I realized whatever I was doing did not actually meet my financial goal. Because when you look at how much Harvard needs, you need like let's say $80,000 now. Calculate the inflation, the time frame. She'll be probably due for university in 5 years from now. So you can imagine, I just taken a policy of 1 million, you know, just thinking. So what I did, my policy had already gone to, I think 4 years or 5 years, for her and my son. So when I sat down, I saw this does not really meet whatever I need to. So when you start revising the things that you have done, I made a decision. And I remember even I talked to one of the Centonomy people about the decision I made, and I told them, I think I've made the right decision. So what I did, I cancelled my education policies. I just realized they don't meet my financial goal. Because basically I can't raise 1 million surely. It can't be sufficient for that time. And I looked, okay, so what's the reason for education policies? There's that security and life insurance that you get because of that, just in case total disability or you die, it takes effect. So I realized, no, I can actually take a life insurance cover separately. So what I'll do, I'll cancel. Of course, there'll be some effect, right? Ripple effect. But I looked at the long term. I think in the long term, I'll suffer more than now, so I better revise it. So I cancelled those two, took the money, put it somewhere where it can compound so that I make more money. So I once saw on social media about Standard Chartered Bank talking about foreign bonds. So I was curious to know how those foreign bonds run, because they run in dollars. So how much should I put in? What should I do? Because now I need to consider my children's education is in dollars, okay? And as the Kenyan shilling is declining in value, I need to really understand how I need to raise this money in 5 to 6 years. You remember the 30 million in 3 years? Yes. So I had to sit down and revise that. So of course, with other ways, that's what I did. I enlisted, I took some investment with foreign bonds, with StanChart, which we are working on not very long ago. That was end of July, just to see how it goes with my MMF accounts, as I see. So it is more of the compounding effect. That's what I'm looking for, so that it can be able to help me achieve that goal in 5 to 6 years.